friends. Happy Friday. It's always a happy Friday when we have Collabattle. I got to say, I look forward to this, Izzy, all week.
Me
Client
too.
work, projects. And then this is like the dessert of the week is getting to hang out with you. No, battle you, not hang out. We don't hang out. Yeah, it's
It's a
intense, right?
cherry on top.
It's a cherry on top. Yes. So we've got some cool things planned today. I might actually show you my screen, friends. Let's say hello to the chat while we're at it. Hey, Robert. Hey, Keys. You guys are going to have fun with us. Hey, Jack. You guys are going to have some fun with us today. So you'll see here on my screen, we have a remixable template as we do every single week. Today, we are talking about call for submissions. Izzy, on our last stream, I kind of took charge. We're talking live streaming. By the way, check out that replay. We've got a few shows in the can. But Izzy, you took charge of this week, and I'm so excited to learn from you. No, I'm so excited to battle you. Battle you.
Ugh,
We're going to
we have
battle.
to be so careful with our language, right? We can't be too
Yes,
friendly.
but exactly. Tell us what we're looking at. So this is a remixable template for call for submissions. Maybe just introduce us to this idea.
Absolutely. So basically, so the call for submissions that we're going to talk about is for a personal project of mine, but this remixable template is you can use for anything. And a postcard is a really great way to raise awareness on whatever that you're doing. If you're advertising an event, if you are looking to have people come to a charity drive or whatever it is that you're doing that you're looking forward to spread the word, postcards is a great way to, just leave at a coffee shop, a store, something like that. Just distribute markets. And if you make them visually pleasing, you're going to be sure that you're going to attract attention. And we're going to talk about that today.
We are going to talk about that today. I'm excited to talk about design stuff. You and I have also had a busy week on Adobe Live. You had another stream earlier this week. I had a stream, and this
Yes.
is, yeah, we're going to talk about some fun stuff. Shout out to Andrew for updating the link in the description. You move fast, my friend. So, friends in the chat, friends watching the replay. Also, hey, a Perva, did I pronounce that correctly? Who else we got here? Maeve is here. Ooh, I love Wade. We got all the great people here. Shout out to you guys. And Izzy, we'll jump over to your screen. As we do, you can kick us off. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this. I love the design of this. What style is this, Izzy?
So the remixable template that you have is Bauhaus. But before we get too much into that, I just want to walk you through just a history of the zines
Perfect.
that we have done with the Ottawa Design Club, just to kind of explain to you why having a campaign for a call for submission. And again, the main ideas or strategies that is behind this can be applicable for anything. So I had to cut down my presentation because there's so much that I could be talking about. I need an Adobe Spotlight just like yours, Phil, to talk about this. But essentially, we had the crazy idea during the pandemic when we saw everyone just creating super cool artworks and posting it because suddenly the world had time on their hands, that we
Yep.
wanted to take that and just put that all in one place. So we tried something blindly, and I say we because I have a team of volunteers that's working with me. Um, and we just like, okay, let's see what's going to happen. And we put the call for submission, and we had a lot of great submissions. So this was our first zine. It was called Quarant Zine. Some little fun wordplay here. And it was all
Clever.
about the isolation of the pandemic. So this was like our first photo shoot. And you'll see as we get closer and closer to, like, we're getting not closer, but further and further in our zine journey, we're getting better and better in our art direction.
It
The
looks
second one,
amazing. I love this little
thank you.
preview.
Thank you so much. The second one, that's again when we were like very much in the thick of the pandemic. So we wanted to have something fun and bubblegum. So this one was all about pop culture, and it was just in a million like pink hues, which was super fun. And we were also
Yeah.
giving bubblegum to people for people when they received. So we created a whole packaging and unpackaging experience. Again, I wish I could show you the inside for each, but like we would be here for the full hour.
We'd be here.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
It looks
Raw.
so good. This is so you, by the way. This is so you. That's a compliment, but I'm not supposed to give you
Thank you.
compliments. We're supposed to be battling.
Yes. You're supposed to be jealous right now.
Yeah.
So this so the raw process of creation, that's what we explored in here. And it's hard to tell by this photo, but we actually spray painted the stock of the covers before it went to print. So we actually printed on top of spray paint to represent like raw material. So we're always looking to have some deep and meaningful ideas that just elevates the concept of what we're
Izzy, you're gonna love
presenting.
this comment from Keys. Izzy rocking the Pantone swatch book like it is as old as me. He meant Pantone. Yeah, it's
It
fine. Yeah,
was
we
an
love a
old one, that's true.
but they're so good. That's like a collector's item. They're so
It
good.
is.
Those
It
swatch
is.
books. Yeah.
This one was origins. So like we looked for like origin stories from people. We explored identity, culture, and traditions. And we were like really big on definitions. So that's why we actually tear apart a dictionary to create the backdrop for this photo shoot. That was
So
super
cool.
fun. And then the fifth one, which we had a lot of great momentum. So this was actually the campaign that we had created for the collaboration. So the we always try to keep people on their toes. So we actually asked for people to submit if they had worked on something with someone else or more.
Got it.
So it couldn't
Got
have
it.
been like just you submitted, it had to be a group. And this was the campaign for it. We wanted to keep it like very simple, but at the same time showing some mesh, because mesh actually shows colors working together, right? Even though it's not like a simple concept that you understand, like deep down, it's like, you know, just like some fun stuff. And then we use that. So this is actually a holographic cover, which was really fun. And this one,
You have to print that a certain way, I think, right? To get the colors.
so we had to find actually a printer that would print on holographic material. Yes, we had to go to Montreal for that one, which was like also fun. And finding because there's a lot of different textures too with holographic. So we had to find the one that we could read, like obviously our logo and our title on top. And these little box here, it's like we actually hand number each of the books. So it's like 1 to 300. It's only 300 copies. So they're a collectible item. So we had to be able to see this as well. We actually
Very
got
cool.
some cool ribbons on Behance for that one, which was really fun. And then the previous one, which was Renaissance. And the way that we were positioning it was like, what's your personal rebirth? So we were looking for cool stories. And this was the call for submission campaign. And then again, we got a little better. So in our postcard, we had a QR code. We had some better call to actions, which we're going to talk about again today. And I'm going to show you, that was the photo shoot for the zine. I mean, I love it. And then this is the only one that I'm going to show you a few pages from the inside. And this, we had some special inks with golds and neons and spot gloss. It was really, really cool. Some more
Fantastic.
pictures.
Thanks for
Yeah.
showing us this. There's some really, really, really beautiful designs. You did a great job. And also, I
Thank
know how
you.
much time goes into those.
Oh,
So
yes.
it's incredible. I think we should start designing. Do you agree?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, sure. I just wanted to show you quickly. This was the event. Okay. So
There we
for the
go.
next call for submission, I told you if I get started, it's like you have to stop me.
No, but it's good. It's good. I think, yeah, no, I think it's really cool to see it and also how they progress and all the themes and stuff. And this kind of sets up the tone for us today.
Exactly. So for the next call for submission, it's called building bridges. So basically, how can you understand the other side of something, right? Like when you cross a bridge, it's because you're meeting someone on the other side, or you're understanding like, you're flipping that coin so there was like a lot of connotation of just being a bit more inclusive. But in order to translate that concept, we thought about a Bauhaus visual, specifically with that half moon, because it does kind of mimic a bridge. So here is the inspiration for today. So this is the mood board. And then we can go into our template right here. So here is a postcard that's already done. We can have a look. This would be the back. But whenever you're advertising something like this, you need to make it in a lot of different formats because it's going to go on social, on the website. Maybe you need more colors for that postcard. So we have a lot of work to do. So we'll pretend that this here is the scope that we have from our boss, our imaginary
Perfect.
boss.
Yep.
So I'd say here that the first thing that is very important is whenever you have a call for submission is you need to have that image on the website. So for us, we have it on the homepage and we have its own separate page as well to have like all of the information. So the announcement one is 19 by 20 by 10 by 80. So I'm going to go here, just go back here. I'm going to click here because I want to use this and then duplicate page. I'm actually going to move that like just after, like so. Perfect. And then here, I want to go and resize it because we know that this size won't work. First of all, this is in inches because it's meant for print. And now 1920 by 1080. Then resize. So as you can see, it did everything for me and it barely changed my design. But because it was small enough and it was covering the full canvas, we just have the background that has moved. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. Now,
that duplicate and resize feature works so well.
Occasionally, yeah,
it's so great. But when the canvas size changes drastically, then you have to expect that it might not be exactly what you're looking for. But how nice to be able to just take a few extra seconds and make some layout adjustments, and boom, you've got it. I was recently working from a presentation slide that I turned into an Instagram feed post, and it literally took me 30 seconds. I just love that.
That is
Ooh, look at that little pattern repeat.
So this here, I've actually made before in Illustrator, and then I have a whole library here. So I have prepped this ahead of time. So this is our colors right here. And then we have like the Bauhaus graphic landscape. I have made some for landscape and some for portraits. So if you're working with a designer and you know the products that you will need, this is something that you could ask your designer. But let's say you wanted to create it, it's super easy because you can actually go to elements and then shapes. And if you just do half, I think I did half moon. Nope, half circle.
Yeah, half circle I think is there.
There you go. So it's here. And then because I have the colors already in my library, I can just easily change that. Is it going to, there you go. Your brand. Oh, I have it in a library. It needs to be a brand for it to be here. Look at, oh no, here, hold on.
Yeah, you should be able to switch it fairly easily. That's the beauty of Express. You can jump between a brand and a library. For those that are watching or joining us and wondering what the difference is, maybe I'll just explain it super quickly. A brand is something specific in Adobe Express. So a brand is going to put those fonts, those colors, those elements that you've predefined in Express right up front. And once that library is selected, like you saw there for a second, when Izzy went to change the color of that half moon, well, they call it half circle. We call it a half moon.
Half moon.
And then a library, you can, as I said, you can toggle between having it as a brand or a library. A library you would be familiar with in Photoshop, in Illustrator, other Creative Cloud apps. Pro tip for you guys, if you're ever wanting to like make groups within your libraries, then I love doing that in the Creative Cloud app. Actually, I work from a Mac, so I open Creative Cloud, the actual app, and I find that it's really awesome to create those groups and subgroups, different logo files, different textures, colors, and you'll see
Oops.
that grouping reflected in Express.
I bet I have exited this by accident. I'm actually trying
Oh,
to
we all
find.
do it.
There you go.
It's only when everyone's watching that all of a sudden you're like, it gets shy or it freezes. My camera was
Yes.
giving me problems a second ago. I was just like
Ah,
in a freeze frame, but you know, it
there
helps
you
when there's
go.
two of us, Izzy. It's like we get
Oh
to
my
just kind of,
gosh.
you know,
Just chill and relax. I'm
exactly.
just
It's
going to
Friday.
bring this down. It is Friday. Going to
How do
bring this down.
you, this style feels very true to something that like you appreciate and probably are inspired by the what do you call it? Bauhaus? Bauhaus?
Bauhaus.
Bauhaus.
Yeah.
Bauhaus. Bauhaus.
Bauhaus. Yeah.
I've never said it out loud. I've seen the word a million times, but I love this style.
It's very minimalistic and it's like, again, if we go back here to like the mood board here, it's basically just geometrical shapes that are just assembled together. This one here, I think, would be the closest of like what like the inspiration that we have. But there's like a lot of fun patterns that you can create, and it's very symmetrical. So this is something just to keep in mind with that. Style. And this is actually feeling a little too busy for the style. So
Yep.
I'm going to maybe ditch one and just make it bigger instead.
He's wanted to know, is this a real call for submission, Izzy? I think it is, right?
It is, and everyone is welcome to apply. The deadline is April 19. I had to think about that one for a second.
And when you're creating a call for submission, how specific do you go into what it is you're looking for? Well, I guess maybe we can wait for that for the next page or something.
Sure. Which actually, I would like personally, I'm happy with this for
I think
a
that looks
header
amazing.
image. Yes. Perfect. So if we go back here to our scope, what else do we need? So we need two images, so side by side, and I can actually show you their reference. So this is actually the Ottawa Design Club, and we need two images like this. Like see, like right there.
Yep.
So let's go back
Let's use that
here.
as inspiration.
Yes. So here, because I'm already in Pixel, going to duplicate page. And again, use the resize, and I think it was 606 by 900. And you'll see this is like a drastic change in the design. So it's going to change it. See, it's actually, I'm surprised of how well it did for that resize. I was not
It did
expecting that at all.
amazing. But
It did
that's
amazing.
also, Izzy, I think because you went oversized with the pattern and there were some graphics left over in the peripheral. And I love that it worked with that.
So for this, because they're side by side, I don't think that, and you know that there's going to be text beside
Yeah.
these images. I don't think you need to have like like everything on it. So you can be just a bit more maybe design-esque, if that's a word about it.
Yep.
I'm going just to make that bigger. And if you want it to be really picky on the details, because if you notice going back here, there's, I mean, beside this, because that's me, it's outside of my artboard, but it's always contained, right? And even the
Mm.
edges are touching. It's never cropped. So here we could make sure that we are also doing that with the design.
Getting picky, but this is what separates the amazing designs from the great designs.
Correct. Here, like even here,
You're pretty
let's see
close.
if I can like, it's like eyeing it a little bit, but I'm happy with this.
I'm happy with that as well.
Awesome. So that was so quick. Then if
Well
I go
done.
back, I can quickly do the other one because it's the same. We need 2 of these. That duplicates already the proper size. And I just want to have the logo for that one. So this in the middle, and with the guides, I know it's already good. So boom, boom, boom. How long was that? 10 minutes? 3 images
Yeah,
done.
pretty much. Pretty much. Let's check. Yeah. About 15 minutes. Well done.
Do you want to try? Is it your
I
turn,
do.
Phil?
I think
Okay.
that this is proof that Express is for anyone. And even I'm less familiar with the design aesthetic, but let's see how I go. What should I tackle next, Izzy? What's on our little scope, our project scope?
So we have another header image for basically the page where you announce the call for submission. So this one could be a GIF. But you can start if you want building that first image, and then I can
Okay.
transform it into a GIF later. How's that?
I love it. Okay, so we're gonna stick with the logo in the middle. So we'll probably switch over to my screen here in a second. I have our what we need up. So let me just repeat the task at hand. One header image for the call for submission page. You've even specified this size, 1920 by 1080. Responsive GIF or GIF, depending on how you pronounce it. Chat, how do you pronounce GIF or GIF? How do you pronounce it? Is it GIF with a G or GIF with a J, but with a G? Let me know in the chat. I'm curious to know. There we go. Okay, Robert says GIF. What else? How do you guys pronounce that word? That very polarizing word. GIF. Oliver says GIF. Yeah,
Yeah, I say GIF too.
you say GIF. Yeah, I jump between the two.
Oh,
Sean
Sean.
says GIF.
GIF.
Okay, so Izzy, do you think I should duplicate and resize this one?
Yes.
It's probably closest.
Mm-hmm.
Or it actually is the same size.
It is the
So,
same size. The only thing is this one needs to be responsive.
okay.
So for designing those, yes, that's it. Repeating that logo will definitely help, because then if you're cropping, depending on which screen that you're looking at it, you won't miss any information. Usually that the center is pretty safe, but then when it's big, like let's say you're looking at it on like an iMac or your desktop at home, then it's going to be very empty on each side.
Mhm. And now, how do you handle oh, actually, so in this case, I might group them together, work with them as one asset, and then the guides are really going to help me. I try to stay zoomed in very close. Oop, I try to stay zoomed in very close for Adobe Live so that you guys can see, but let me just look at this at a high level, and I'm going to get in closer. Izzy, we're supposed to be battling, but you can hop in here and also help me out. Would that be responsive?
Yes. Yes, that's perfect.
To the
And you
point where, like,
can,
even if it cuts off some of the word, you still know what the word is because it repeats.
correct.
With responsive design, it can be tricky, especially in those in-between sizes, right? Like iPad screens can be a little bit tough depending on what iPad it is. And sometimes people will just design for mobile and they're designed for desktop. But even now, desktop can mean so many things depending on how big your screen is and how zoomed in
Mm-hmm.
you are.
And then there's the
So,
people in between, right? And specifically for something like this, like there is a lot of creatives that will work on a tablet and on a tablet only, and that's also where they consume their website. So the tablet size would be in between. So you need to think about the mobile, tablet size, and desktop. So something that's going to be, if you crop it in or if you extended it, it's still going to look nice and it won't feel empty. It takes a little bit of time to get your mind around that. And this is maybe a
yeah.
bit more advanced design, but once you understand it, I mean, you just unlock so many opportunities.
Do we have this? So, one thing I was thinking about, if you were ever trying to scale this, if if you're ever trying to scale this in different languages, this is saved as a graphic, so we obviously can't translate it. Do we have this by chance as a font? Do you have it available as a font on your
Yes,
end?
it is in the library.
Perfect.
So,
If we hop over to this one, the last slide, Izzy, I would love your help, even though we're battling. I would love your help to put it in as text. And I want to demo. We've been using duplicate and resize a lot today, mostly just to
yes.
show you guys how quickly we can start with one design. So we started with a postcard, and we've already made 2 images for the homepage. We've made a header image in literally a few seconds. Izzy, I know you're going to make it into it. I'm scared to say the word based on the divisiveness and the divided opinions in the chat. A Purvis says, "Are we going to rename giraffes too?" You know,
We can.
it's a very yeah, lots of opinions on this. Okay, great. So, how cool is that? That we've got this in as a linked asset, so that means it updates in Illustrator, it updates in Photoshop if it's linked in Express, but you just popped it in right there as text.
Yep, and then I can do the half circle, go and grab my shape
Little
here.
half circle.
And you know what, too? Because we have it here, I can use when on the like fill, the color fill,
Yeah.
I can use my color picker and there you go. Oh, sorry. Here you go.
Love it. Love it. It is so easy for us to just be designing together.
I know.
It's so cool. So that's pretty much exact. So now I'm just going to get rid of this one. Oops. And I'm going to select this one. I'm going to oop. You know what? Because I don't have, I think, the library installed, it's not going to duplicate for me, but let me.
Oh, hold on. Let me do it for you.
Yeah, you do it. Okay. Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect.
You're
So
invited
watch.
though.
Oh, yeah, I'll double check it. We had some library shifts. I got like 100 notifications on my Adobe Express and my Adobe Creative Cloud account.
Oh no.
So I may have lost in the shuffle. Friends, look how cool this is. I don't think, Izzy, we've ever talked about this one, but we should. How many languages do you speak?
2.
Great. I
That's
knew the
it.
answer to that because you're a good Canadian, just like me, even though I live in the US. But let me show another. Let me show another language.
How many languages
I
do you
took
speak?
not as many as you. I only took French until 5th grade. 6th grade, I changed schools, but I was in French immersion. So I wish we knew each other back then. We could have had
Yeah.
really good conversations. But check this out. I think Japanese is going to be a tough one in this font, but since this is using um, the same letters, right, in the language, even with the accents, look how cool that looks.
That is so cool.
Look how cool that looks. So friends, if you're thinking about a call for submission, and let's say you're in a market, an international market, or you're sharing this online, you want to be conscious of different, geographical areas and languages. Express makes this so, so easy to literally toggle between not just one language, but multiple languages. Check it out. So cool. So let's hop back over to our little list that we're working through today. Izzy, do you want to, maybe what we'll do is we'll tackle this first, the Instagram post.
Sure.
And then we'll get jiffing after
Awesome.
that. So typically when I'm going to delete the Japanese one. It was good in theory, but I realized that font might not carry over into Japanese. It's a little more styled. When we've got some options like this, I generally do at a high level. I'm like, okay, which one is closest to what I'm trying to create right now? One thing that could be really interesting, if I was posting this on Instagram, I actually might post it as a carousel. I typically, when on Instagram, I'm trying to get people to stay on the media for as long as possible. It increases the performance of your post. Now we get into some markety stuff, but that's what you keep me around for, Izzy. Yeah. For a design that's this cool, and for designs where we have this kind of double feature, where it's kind of like design and then you scroll over and it's like the more simplified version, I would probably duplicate this, Express makes it really easy. So we can do an Instagram square post. We can also scroll down here and we should be able to do like an Instagram, a vertical type post. So here, this is the same, yeah, portrait post. That's what it's called. I was improvising there. Instagram portrait post. So friends, you might already know this, but I recommend posting on Instagram feed. 1080 by 1350 is the maximum vertical size as opposed to square, unless your design is really akin to a square layout. I recommend getting that extra vertical real estate. So
Let
we're
me
going to
change that.
duplicate.
It's 13. Sorry, it's 1080 by
1350.
50.
But I
I'll
did
change it
just
in
duplicate
scope.
it. So let me just Instagram feed. Oh, I see. Yeah, you're changing in the in here
Yeah, in our scope, just to make sure.
because you're learning.
Yes.
We're turning you into a super marketer and you're turning me into a super designer. Thanks to
Look
you and
at
thanks to
that.
Express. I'll pretend. So we just duplicated and resized now. Some of your artwork may look and feel similar, and you're like, how do I keep track of that? In Express, I make use of this label up here, the ability to label it so we know that that's Instagram feed.
Mhm.
If I wanted to double check the dimensions, that's visible up here on the top left. And then what I might do from here is duplicate this. I am, for now, going to delete that. And let's go black. And let's go to elements, shapes. You found it under circles, didn't you?
I actually typed it in. I said half circle.
Oh, look at that. If we did a black base, what would you do as the accent? Oh, that looks cool too. What would you do? If we were going to do a scroll over, if you're going to like put more information on it, what would you do?
I
have to respect
would
the Bauhaus design.
I would just write call for submission.
Okay.
Super simple. And maybe the deadline date.
Would you just keep it simple on this side, the design? Do you want to pop in the text for me, actually, since you've got
Sure.
that library font installed?
Yes. Actually, I'm gonna give you the, because there is some like core. I have my header text and then I have my paragraph styles too. So that would be like the core text. So we said call for submission.
And actually, probably at this stage, we can actually switch to your screen since you're going to take us next into GIFing. I'm just going to say it twice. I'm just going to keep saying it twice so that I don't get anyone upset in the chat. But we'll switch to your screen. Thank you. And then we'll, yeah, this is looking really good.
I think we can create some
good idea.
Like patterns like so. Then repeat it like that.
Recreating the pattern using the circles in Express. So that's under elements, and then you would go to shapes, and then there's a subgrouping of circles. Robert is giving us in the chat on Behance a history of GIF.
Ooh.
I think is his argument, because the creator of it said that he's proud of it, but he remains annoyed that it's pronounced incorrectly.
So is it GIF or GIF?
Soft G. Soft G pronounced GIF.
GIF.
Yeah.
That is so weird to me. It's kind of crazy that it's weird, because in French the G and the J actually has the same. It would be GIF too in French, actually. But yeah, the G and the J have the same sound. It doesn't, like, in English, the G has G, but for us, both is J. So.
Maeve asked, can you do the entire submission in Adobe Express?
Yes, you can, as long as it is high resolution. So then whenever we need to print, it will not get pixelated. So 300 DPI.
300 DPI, and in Express, it is so easy to adjust the the resolution or the canvas size, let's call it, in Express. So let's say you're designing something that's a square, you've got it set to 1200 by 1200, you can easily just increase that size in the canvas size. Very easy. You would click resize and make those adjustments. That's awesome if you could actually create it in Express and submit it. This is looking so good. I also love that we just took the time to rebuild the pattern to show people
How easy that
right. You don't,
was.
yeah, how easy it was and how you don't have to be super advanced. Let's say you have to be doing this in Illustrator if you're not comfortable there. That's what I love about Express. It's like Express is useful for creative pros, but it's also welcoming for people that are not quite as comfortable. And it's kind of like this great common ground and a useful spot for so many different types of people that are creating.
You know what? I'm going to pull
Looking good.
something that I would do in Illustrator, but I'm so happy that I can do here is see how I have grouped all of like these little like assemble with groups of half circles here, but I want to make sure I have the same distance between, and let's say I'm working in a rush. So I have grouped it like that. Then I'm going to select everything, and in my align tool here, I can distribute, and I'm going to do vertical. So now I know that everything is distributed properly, and then I'm going to group it. Then with the guides, it is properly aligned. And if we go back to
That's a really good trick, by the way.
Thank you. If we look at here, there's actually some half moon missing, or half circles. So I'm going to do the same thing here. So I think if I double click on one,
yes,
it's group within a group here. So that's why I had to click 4 times, but I'm going to go and just delete some like so. And this is very Bauhaus.
It is.
There you go.
It looks so sophisticated, and you built the entire thing in Express. No need to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
Hey to Jeffrey, who just said hi to us. And I know we've got Sean in the chat. We've got a good crew with us today. Aprova asks, hey, Izzy, can you add the design size page to the shared link? It only has the first 2 pages. I'd like to try. So maybe we add that as a comment or something.
Absolutely. Yes, we can totally do that. Okay. So do you want me to do it now, or do you want to do it, Phil, while I continue?
Do that. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So you want what? You want me to do it? Sorry, this?
Sure. You've got it up. Yeah.
Okay. So actually, I can show you how to navigate between projects.
Perfect.
So it was at the very bottom, right here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just add the text here. I just copied it. Easy. From one project to another, it's still going to remember. And there you go. Everything is here.
Also, you can take a screenshot of it once we're on there. Maybe we'll hold for a quick second. If you want to screenshot that, then you'll have those sizes as well. I'm trying to remember that if we make a live adjustment into a remixable template, does it generate a new link? I'm not sure.
Let us know, chat.
With the updates. Yeah, let us know, chat.
If it's there or not.
But anyways, you've got it. You've got it here. I love how this design is shaping up and how many different designs we've created in just a short amount of time. And again, the fact that you were able to recreate the Bauhaus look in Express using shapes and colors, it just feels so approachable.
Yes. And it's like, this is so limited. For people wondering what fonts I'm using, it's actually not Adobe fonts. I have downloaded my own when I was building the library. So the big one here, the thick, is actually called Big Sexy Sans.
Which is exactly what it is.
Exactly what it is. I love that font. It's big fonts usually shows a lot of confidence. And it's like bold and, you know, it's gonna grab attention. I, I like the thickness of it because I felt it matched really well with the half moons that are like
Yeah.
solid shapes. And this here, this is actually part of the Ottawa Design Club branded fonts, and it's favori, so favorite in French. Okay, so here I
Beautiful.
want to
So it's like a
resize.
combination of some of their brand font elements and then others. It looks really cool.
So that's actually something that I wanted to touch on. So for our call for submission or any event advertising that we do, we actually try to add like a new element of design, but keeping at least one or two from our brand, because we're
Mm.
tailoring to designers. This is like some of the only I would say opportunities that you'll have to actually go outside of the brand style guide is that if you know that your audience is going to respond well to it. And for us, it's creatives. So we're
Of
very
course.
lucky about that. I'm just going to ungroup this.
But
And
it makes
yeah,
sense, right? Because you've got certain brand guidelines or branding elements that you want to maintain, but at the same time, you've got a design savvy audience that wants to see something new and interesting. So it's like a bit of a balancing act, right?
that's exactly it. See here, I'm going to align it, make sure everything is centered. And again, distribute. Perfect.
You
That's
did something
exactly
very
it.
smart there for Instagram that I just want to call out. You left a little bit of space at the top and a little bit of space at the bottom, which is a good idea for Instagram. You want to think about the UI of Instagram.
Mhm.
So typically at the very top, we'll see your profile photo. To account for that in the design is a good move, right? So that it's not layered on top, especially with something as aesthetic as this. Leaving a little bit of space top and bottom is just a good move. When you're working in Instagram, it'll kind of snap to the best sizes. It doesn't have to be exact, but yeah, exactly as you did that, leaving space top and bottom is about what I would recommend.
So see here, I just want to, so I basically, whenever I'm making some stories, I like to have a few. So you like carousels, but I actually like to have a few stories like side by side that's telling a story.
Love it.
So for this, I would actually, maybe this is not the best one. Would just keep one. I would bring this up so we have a visual cue that is repeated.
Mm-hmm.
And then here could either be where we put the link, right? Like for the call for submission itself to send to the website or even more information. So maybe we have a call to action. So add text here and we'll say for more info. Gonna make sure that this is in, actually, we'll do it in big sexy.
That's the name of the font, by the way. She's not calling me
Like,
that.
I mean, you are sexy, Phil. So,
Oh,
so
Lord.
there
This
you
looked really
go.
good. Chat, what do you think? How cool is this design? Can you
Actually,
click back to the first one so you can show us that kind of progression? I love
mhm.
that you like to kind of create those stories and build on it. I think that's really cool.
So we
Yeah,
started
look at
with
that.
this. Actually, we have some text here that I can copy. Yay.
Love it.
Love it. So this is our little scope here that we need to follow. This is our responsive design for the header, for the home page. This one does not need to be responsive, hence why there's only that logo.
Yep.
Some decorative images on the side of some information. This is a full Instagram feed, post, portrait.
Yep.
This is another one. So essentially, I guess it would be like this, right? Like you would have,
Yeah.
or this could be the end, and you would have something in between with text.
Perfect.
And I'm going to go back to the stories. This is crazy
While
because
you're
there's a lot
doing
of
that,
text.
I wanna call out, just while you're formatting that, I want to call out, you had a QR code on the postcard.
Mhm.
And if you're wondering, where can I make a QR code? You don't even need to leave Express for that. It's a quick action. So from the dashboard, you would, when you go to create a new project, you can click quick actions and creating a QR code with some additional styling elements. I'll show that after this. I don't want to
Perfect. Do you want to take
take
over?
you off course here. No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay,
This is looking good. I think you're so
perfect.
close to finishing. I'll show that at the end.
So I'm just being mindful of the time. Should I
Yeah.
go into the header and then do that GIF?
Yeah. I think that's the
Okay.
right next move. I think we have time
Okay,
for it.
perfect. So I'm just going to bring this at the end. I'm going to duplicate the pages.
Chat, look at that at a high level, what we've accomplished in such a short amount of time. I'm so impressed.
Let me go back here so we can have a better look. There you go. All right, so because again, like I have worked with the library before, this will be very easy. So if you want to create something like this, where we have a GIF that is moving as the header, I'll show you exactly how to do this. So I'm going to have to just ungroup this. And this does require a little bit of work before in order to be that fast, but I can click this, like whatever item. And then see here, you have linked asset. You can click on that replace icon and it automatically brings me to the library. So I'm going to just change the assets that I have done.
This one I don't think we've showed before is the replace. Each week we got something new.
Something new. And I have.
Hey, Purvis says, this is beautiful, Izzy. I agree.
Ah, yay. Thank you. So there you go. Sometimes they take just a little bit of time to just refresh. Okay, there was a little bit of pixelization, but after a minute, not a minute, I'd say a few seconds.
Yeah.
And I want to replace this background color. And quickly like that, we have like seconds,
2
right?
minutes. Yes.
I'm going to do the same again, just so we have 3 so we can see that GIF a little better. So again, relink.
Looking good. I love these colors. It's such a great, great color palette.
Thank you. I wanted them to have some colors that were in one another or in the same kind of family. I mean, it's really easy for the black and white to match. I love black and white design so much. Boom.
Look
Okay.
at that.
All right. So now, in order to do a GIF,
You're scared to say the word after seeing
I'm
the
scared.
chat's divisive.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think I will have to go back here and duplicate my projects. So GIF abracadabra. That's so cool that it's saying this. And it's just to clean it up. Like I just want to have like those files. Drawing it blank here.
Good.
Hold on. Sometimes it's to see the timeline at the bottom. That sometimes like I have to think about that one because I forget it. I forget how to see the timeline at the bottom.
Add an animation usually is what will convert this from a static image into a video.
I'll add an audio. There you go. Perfect. So just going to make this, let's say, yeah, 0.5, add scene. Just going to go and grab everything, copy. I just did like any design document, Command A to select everything and Command C.
Mm-hmm.
Going back here, going to paste.
Chat in our final few minutes. If you have any questions for Izzy or for me, let us know. I'm going to keep an eye on these. On the chat, Robert says, so simple and at the same time so elegant. I agree, Robert. It was also so fun, Izzy, to see you just randomly delete little half circles in the design. I don't think there was any kind of like rhyme or reason. You're just like, boop, 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 gone. Boop. And it looks so cool.
Actually, it's pasting on top. So I have to. It's pasting on top and not in the new scene. So I just want to make sure that I'm here. There you go. Then I just have to change the background color. Add scene.
You're just joining us. This is the last leg of our GIF/GIF making in Express from a static image. Izzy added a animation that turned this static image project into a video file. And then obviously from there, we can choose how we want to download it.
So you won't be able to see it because I would need to repeat these often, but you can see basically the animation. It would go like this. I'll just remove the sound. So it would go like this. And then it would repeat because it's a GIF. So then I would go here
and loop then automatically.
It would loop automatically. So I would go to download, and actually I would do MP4, and then I would bring it onto here. Yes. And then you can switch it to a GIF. It would be convert to GIF. I'm gonna zoom in. So suggested quick action, you download as an MP4 and then you bring it here and then you create a GIF in order to create this.
Absolutely perfect. Voila. Also show us that QR code, which you had on the postcard. Yes. We had that pre-prepared. But friends, if you're curious to create a QR code, that is also a quick action. From there, once you select that, you can choose the style of the QR. There are so many quick actions. It's you just look in here and it's like there's so many great, there's so many great quick actions exactly as described. There you can just, you would enter your link, you would choose the color, the style of the QR code to match whatever it is you want to create, and boom, that's going to give you that ability to hyperlink, which by the way, we now have hyperlinks in Express. We also have presentation mode. You may have seen this. It's brand new, hot off the presses. If you're creating a presentation in Express, definitely play around with that. It's looking really good. We're almost at time, Izzy, but it's incredible.
We're almost at time.
Yeah.
Should we go back to?
Believe it.
Maybe
give us one last little look.
Last little look. Okay, I'm just going to play. This is looking huge.
Charlie says magic. Really great.
So are we? Oh, yes, here. Actually, let's do that same thing for the postcard. So if I duplicate page, I'll put it at the end because we had postcard in the new color.
You did it.
We'll do that.
We've duplicated and resized a whole lot of times today. In our final minute here, we'll make these last little edits. Not to stress you out, Izzy. Love it. I'm keeping us on time. That's my job. My job is to keep us on time. Your job is to design beautiful things, which the whole chat has collectively said, this is amazing. It really is.
Thank you so much. And you're more than welcome to apply for this call for submission. The deadline is April 18, midnight Pacific time. And we are looking for good stories that
Beautiful.
you can build bridges with. So I think I had more QR codes here. There you go.
If you are interested in applying for that, friends, definitely do it. And also thank you for hanging out with us for the hour to design some beautiful Bauhaus designs, remixable template for at least to get started in this style that Izzy walked us through today. Thank you, Izzy, for that. It was so, so good. You did amazing.
Thank you. It was so fun.
It was so fun. Thank you, friends, for hanging out with us. We appreciate you. Stick around for more great content today. And then have a great weekend. We'll see you next on Collabattle. See you then.
Collabattle. Bye.